In this presentation, I would like to dwell upon the question as to why some farmer producing organizations, or FPOs as they are known, are remarkably successful while many get embroiled in corruption, blame game, and finally the ignominious demise. Although there are many adverse factors hindering the group development in the FPOs, the most significant problem preventing them from responding successfully to markets is often a failure to develop a professional group based on entrepreneurship and principles of sound management. These factors are, according to me, the most critical prerequisites of success, because an enterprise integrates into its environment through innovation as well as by creating opportunities and taking calculated, not foolhardy, calculated risks. Producer groups and rural organizations need to be managed professionally, and like all other enterprises, they require clear objectives, proper finance, availability of finance, planning, congenial market conditions, economic and environmental analysis, good third-party relationships, as well as, and perhaps most critically, well-trained, motivated, and visionary management with entrepreneurial mindset. The experience with several FPO management, including their board and their style, is unfortunately nothing to write home about. They have either remained unchanged or still lacking in proper decision making, objective decision making. The presence of such antiquated old style, authoritative in many cases, and job dependent managers rarely facilitates solutions, and their professional skills are largely inadequate and detrimental to smooth functioning of the FPOs. Quite often the centralized structures can implicitly undermine the skills and creativity of the leaders and the members of the group. To compound this, weak strategy or lack of coherent game plan and misplaced priorities do immeasurable damage, harm to the FPOs. That's not to say that many farmer groups have made considerable progress. India is a classic example of remarkable success of many FPOs under visionary management and foundations. But most still lack the management skills and experience needed to operate efficiently and profitably. Without a strong elected leadership and a core base of like-minded, this is important, like-minded producer members working to ensure its success, groups are likely to fail. Members need to be committed to using the facilities and services of their group, and control needs to be in their hands of those that are most committed. This may be expressed by the amount of product supplied to a group of a defined quality, the amount of product purchased through the group, or the total use of their services. Investments in a group, the benefits received, and the voting rights need to be related to these commitments, otherwise an irrelevant and inefficient group system is likely to form. Groups need to constantly readjust, recalibrate, and adapt their structures, management and operations in line with competitive challenges, and develop medium to long-term objectives in response to changing circumstances. Group leaders need to identify and assess problems and opportunities and see whether they can be solved with their existing resources. They need to take positive measures to solve problems, exploit opportunities, and develop initiatives and have a sound succession plan. It is a challenging and demanding task to conceive, design, build, and nurture this type of producer group. The responsibility for examining potential opportunities, preparing a business proposition, devising methods of operation, raising finance, and ensuring legal obligations will often rest with a small group of dedicated, committed, visionary, and motivated members. How do we identify such members? I'll come to that a little while. At this stage, let me dwell upon what I call as the non-cognitive elements that determine the efficacy of FPO leadership. Non-cognitive elements or traits or attributes, if you will, are fundamental to our nature, and they are like icebergs, meaning embedded in our psyche and constitute 2/3 of what we are. The remaining 1/3 is the direct influence of learning and mentoring and other environmental influences that help us to grow. I will not be elaborating the other obvious requirements like financial and digital literacy, business planning, business acumen, business planning skills, periodic reviews, record keeping, etc., but would rather go beyond and behind the obvious factors that determine the success of FPOs. In this, I would ask and try to answer a simple question. What is that? What are the traits that the FPO leadership must have to make the group highly cohesive, interdependent, and result-oriented? The one major distinguishing quality between a highly successful FPO leadership and a not so successful or mediocre, if you will, leadership is the presence of what I call as the entrepreneurial mindset, presence of entrepreneurial mindset. To me, the word entrepreneurship is a cluster or constellation of different traits. There are some major traits around which there are some minor traits, and they form a kind of a constellation like we see in the galaxy of stars. To be exact, these are the combinations of 15 or so traits. Now, what are these traits? These are networking ability, assertiveness, showing and receiving empathy, achievement drive, metacognition, locus of control, growth mindset, passion for work, self-efficacy, extraversion, openness to experience, resilience, grit, and conscientiousness. The psychometric profiling of the leadership reveals additional 2 elements that, in my view, are the pillars or foundations, if you will, of the sound structure of FPOs. These are entrepreneurship, psychological creditworthiness, and the desire to learn from experiences. Is it possible to measure precisely these attributes? The answer is yes. We at EcoDev have developed psychometric profiling tool that, upon measuring these attributes, puts the groups and the individual members in 3 categories. Which are these categories? First one is champion, second one is the master, and the third one, rookies. Once we identify these 3 segments, then we provide non-threatening feedback about their strengths and weaknesses in a group setting and work individually with them and in a group on the developmental plan, which gets monitored on a quarter-on-quarter basis. This is in addition to providing inputs on gaining financial and digital literacy and helping them refine their business plans. In preparing the business plan, which is kept very simple, we ask 3 questions. What are these questions? Where are we now? Where we want to go? And what is preventing us from reaching there? Care is taken to ensure that the plan does not become a kind of a philosophical statement or a motherhood statement, if you will, but is based on clear and measurable matrices that has defining boundaries of quality, quantity, cost, and time. We have developed this instrument, which we call as Empower You, in Kenya, Tanzania. We have deployed this instrument in Africa, in different geographies like Kenya, Tanzania, Senegal, Nigeria, South Africa, Uganda, in Asia, Bangladesh, Australia, and India. These are in different languages, local languages, and it's a culture-free kind of an instrument. The results are nothing short of spectacular. We believe that such an approach to rekindle the innovative spirit and entrepreneurial zeal in FPO will go a long way in ensuring the viability and sustainability of the producing organizations. Thank you very much.